Okay, Patricia, we are live. Guys, thanks for joining us for this live stream that we've been talking about for weeks now. We've been talking about the day we're going to finally get to Area 51. We dabbled in a few other mysteries that are connected to Area 51, but we're gonna let you know how the tie-in happens at some point. So, Patricia, who is our resident veteran and our resident researcher on all things um, ancient civilizations, alien technology, Area 51 related. She's going to be running point on this live stream because she has copious notes on this matter. Okay, so I'm just going to be along for the ride. Now, remember, you guys can leave your comments in the chat. Let's know your thoughts on each of the points that we're covering in this expose on Area 51. Now, if you have some thoughts that we don't cover during the live stream, be sure to let us know in the chat. And we also, talk about the news. So if there's something in the news that you want us to riff off of while we're online here with you, because we're very, very conscious of the chat, we would love for you to post those in the chat because do you know what? The live stream is really about you and us having a conversation and talking about a bunch of these issues. So, without,
Mhm.
yeah, so let's know where you're watching from. Okay, post where you're watching from in the chat and don't forget to smash the like button. Okay, while you're at it. So, Area 51. So, Patricia, let's just dive into this now. Area 51 is one of those topics that's like the holy grail. You mentioned the holy grail and then it's almost like you're stepping into something um
Mind blowing.
uncharted. Yeah, mind blowing, and if you touch it you might explode like the Germans who opened the Ark of the Covenant in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade movie. No, that the Last Crusade was on the holy grail. The one with the Ark of the Covenant was what now? Which one was that? The Last Crusade was the Holy Grail. Then the one with the
Raiders of the
Ark of
Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay, that was my favorite. That was
That
my
was an
favorite.
awesome movie.
Yeah. The Last Crusade was good. It was good too. So let's know where you're chatting from in the chat. So Patricia, go for it.
Area 51. It's been something that everybody focuses on because of the secrecy. And forever people have been going up on the hills around it, taking photos and seeing weird things in the sky. And they automatically um, go into this thought pattern of that's got to be alien because we've never seen it before. And that has built up a legend with Area 51 that covers everything from alien beings, alien bases, alien aircraft, um, and what they're actually doing there. Reverse engineering. They're
Yep.
building flying saucers, et cetera, et cetera. When in truth, Area 51 was set up during the Cold War, right after World War II. And that area was used for testing underground explosions of nuclear bombs off to the west of where Area 51 is right now.
Hmm.
And they decided they needed a base that was hidden, that from the enemy's eyes, to test out military weapons and military craft. Um, I don't know how many people remember the first pictures they released of the stealth bomber. The very first picture was taken in front of a hangar, and the bomber was outside of the hangar. And when I seen it, I said, "That's Area 51."
Mhm.
And the next thought in my brain was, "That's from the Flying Wing from 1947, I think it was, that they had built that plane before. And the reason why it never went into service was because it kept crashing. It had tail fins and propeller engines on it. They couldn't fly it, couldn't control it.
Mm.
So now, with technology, that plane is mostly flown by computer, not by pilots. And they took tail fins off. So when I seen it, I said, "Well, they finally got that right." But the fascinating part of the Cold War stuff was that they were developing technology that no one else had. And they were trying to protect it. That's why the base is where it is. And then the military went and you might as well say they confiscated the hills around Area 51 to keep people from filming what was going on there. And that just raised it to a whole new level of what's happening there. Why don't they let people know what's happening there? You don't want to know what's happening there.
Yeah.
And no, they don't let anybody enter that base unless you're authorized to. The same way that you can't enter any other military base unless you're authorized to do so. And I can
So
tell you it.
so let me ask a question, because these days Americans on social media sound as if they have a right to walk into any government-owned building to ask any old question they want to ask. And there was a video
Mhm.
that I saw a while back of people who were planning to raid Area 51. Like there's this attitude like you should be able to walk into these secret bases and ask whatever it is you want. And maybe we'll talk about the Epstein files that were released yesterday. Okay, the
Okay.
3.5 million pages of yeah, pages of Epstein files that were released. Maybe we'll talk about that, because whenever people are asking for information, the question I always have is, can you handle the volume of information that you're asking for, and can you handle the truth of what's going to be coming your way when that arrives?
Yes, and
So,
the words keep coming back to the truth. You can't handle the truth.
yep.
And really, the secrecy of Area 51 has been fed by its reputation. And to keep things secret there, it's set up to work in a way that people who are working on things there have no clue to what anybody else is working on.
Mm,
Now, that's not unusual for a military base. I had free reign on going anywhere connected to a runway on a base. But there were lines drawn on that runway that I was not allowed to cross. I couldn't walk up to a B 52 on a parking pad. I could have been shot for doing that.
even as a military officer?
Well, I wasn't an officer, I was enlisted, but even as a member of the military, and yeah, even if there had been an officer there that did not have the clearance to cross those colored lines, they could be shot.
Hmm.
And one day I did cross it in an emergency, and I got an M16 shoved in my face
Whoa.
with the safety off.
Okay.
He didn't shoot me because I was yelling at the mechanic in the B-52 to turn off a tail gun.
Ah.
Me and my crew were working behind the B-52, and when a tail gun in a B-52 is on, they go to automatic magnetic lock, meaning that if they lock on a metal object, they automatically fire.
Whoa.
And I was just lucky that the mechanic working on it knew who I was. He said, "Patty, is that you?" And I said, "Yeah. I'm behind you in front of that gun with a crew, and it's following us.
Ooh.
Turn it off." And I said, "What are you all doing?" He said, "We got a bullet stuck in it." And I said, "Oh my Lord, you could have killed one of us." So, and with those tail guns, people have seen them fired on news shows and stuff, and they see the white bullets. Those are tracer bullets. In a B-52 tail gun, that's every fifth bullet
Hmm.
is white. So they
Hmm.
can see where the bullets are, line up their targets better,
Yeah.
see where the bullets are going. And that's every fifth bullet. That's how fast they fire. So even if you're on one of these bases, and the compartmentalization of it is that I can be on the runway next to where the B-52s are parked, but I don't know what they're doing to the B-52s.
Hmm.
That's like eyes only and information that I don't need to know to work on the runway. The same way that these scientists and engineers who work at Area 51, they do not need to know who is working on a craft for aeronautic, the airflow around it, the air, what's that called? Well, anyway, they're not involved in the overall shape of the craft they're working on. They may be working on one small part of an engine or a computer system. They may be working only on the computer system that they use for um, the protection of the plane while it's flying.
Yeah.
The guns involved in that, or they may be working on the part of what keeps the plane stable while it's flying. And they won't know that there's other parts of the computerized program that carries over and takes care of other things that plane is designed to do. So the fascinating part of Area 51 is that usually nobody knows what's going on there. Nobody knows what anybody else is working on there, except for maybe the administration, and even then, they may not know everything that's going on there. So it's really crazy. I know the administrators of Area 51 are Nelson's Air Force Base. And Area 51 is an Air Force base. They have test flown all sorts of things out of there. And that has been a lot of what people who have went down there at night and videoed, that they've seen shadows of it. Because one thing that you can guarantee, an alien craft will not leave a jet stream.
Hmm.
They have no exhaust systems on the alien crafts I've seen from the Pentagon videos.
Hmm.
But our aircraft always leaves a jet stream. You'll see the jet motors on a
Yeah.
plane
Yeah.
when it takes off, and it'll look totally weird at night. You'll see two little dots moving through the air, or three,
Hmm.
if they have a booster burner. So you'll see 3 jet engines ignite when it takes off at night, and you can see the fire from them. And people have recorded that and said, "Oh, that's an alien craft." No, it was the jet engines.
All right. So if you see something flying through the air and there's a trail, then that's not a UFO essentially.
No,
Okay.
all the UFO footages that I've seen that they have identified as unknown aircraft have never had a exhaust signature.
Okay.
Not those little white capsule looking things that the Navy caught zooming across the ocean, and not that gimbal one that tilts while it's flying.
Mm,
Um, there was no exhaust streams from them whatsoever. They
okay.
can't figure out how they're powered
Okay.
because we're still in fossil fuel mode. We think, oh, it's got to have a trail. Even our nuclear subs can leave a trail,
Mm,
and they're not powered by fossil fuels,
yeah.
but they still leave a signature because they're radioactive.
All right. So there are people who are tuned in right now who are watching, and of course, we promised, okay, to talk about the truth about Area 51, and it's not what they think. So,
No.
so let's dive into a few of the things, the resources that we have lined up, and then you guys feel free to ask your questions. Now, if you're watching this on the main channel, okay, the main channel is Crossroads IRL. Crossroads IRL will unceremoniously be will go offline in about 5 minutes. So you would want to skip over to the new live stream channel. Okay, the new live stream channel is Crossroads 247. Okay, just type Crossroads 247 in on YouTube, and you should be able to find it. So that's where we're going to be live streaming from now on. All the live streaming is going to be happening there. We're going to be easing into it over the next couple of weeks, and when we're sure that everyone knows where the live streaming is happening, then we're going to stop announcing it. So, Patricia, it's all you now. So let's hear it.
Okay, the reputation of it has always been very loud. And the history of Area 51 is a lot different than people's concept of it.
Mm,
The actual history, the cold hard fact history of it.
yeah.
Um, they have created a lot of things at Area 51. Uh, some of them, the civilian population has benefited from. And people probably don't realize this, but there was a time when our military was testing microwave weapons. They didn't work out real good. So they handed the technology to the civilian interest. And what we get out of it? Microwaves to cook our food. So, and there was a lot of research that went on with that. And where did the research come from? Well, believe it or not, it wasn't Area 51. The whole concept and ideal of those microwave weapons started at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. It's a research base. They make astronaut suits. They make suits for the people who fly the spy planes because they fly so high. They have to have like an astronaut suit.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the things that they've got there would probably make your hair stand on end. More so than what's there at Area 51. So, what is Area 51? Well, it's an Air Force base. It is governed by Nelson Air Force Base. That means the general who oversees everything there also oversees everything at Area 51. Um, it's been called a lot of different names too, but Area 51 kind of just stuck. It's a base that has tested weapons and tested aircraft. And they use the runway at Groom Lake to take off and land those aircraft. And that's why people see flying objects there so much. Because usually they will only fly them at night because overhead satellites can't shine a flashlight on the object taking off at the runway. So it makes it more secretive and keeps those things out of having photographs taken of them and them trying to figure out what kind of aircraft it is before it's released. So it's a research, I hate to call it a research base, but it does have research to it. It's more like build it and test it, and then test it again, and then put it in something and test it. But they're pulling off of research, the first stages of research done by another base.
Okay.
And then they send it to them, and that's where it gets the reputation of reverse engineering. Because
Okay.
these guys at Area 51 that's putting this stuff together have no clue where it came from. They get the blueprints of it, and they won't probably even know who worked on those blueprints. That's another one of those eyes only things.
Yeah.
You only need the information if it affects what you're doing. So knowing who built something is not something that you probably need to know.
Okay.
So, and then they send that over to them, and then they build it. And oh, this doesn't work. Well, then try this or redo that. And that's what's going on at Area 51. People who have reported seeing flying saucers there. Those flying saucers are probably have been built by our military. And they're in storage there because they didn't work.
Okay.
Or else we'd be flying them. That's something that a lot of people don't think about, is that if we had the technology to do what has been seen in those videos from our Navy pilots, if we had that technology, you'd already see it in our skies. You'd see it taken off at Carswell Air Force Base or out of Norfolk or off of aircraft carriers. They don't hide it once they develop it.
Yeah.
Except there are very few pictures of the spy planes.
Yeah, you mentioned to me, and I think you hinted at it earlier. You talked about the first pictures that you saw of the stealth fighter,
Yes.
and you told your daughter that this had been in development for the better part of what, 50 years?
Yeah.
So it took them 50 years to figure out how to get the stealth fighter to stay in the
How
air.
yeah, just to keep it in the air, because before that, every one of them that they took up crashed.
All right. So
And
and then you mentioned
that was also about the same time that they were saying UFOs were crashing. And it may have
Yeah.
been a flying wing aircraft that we had developed. And they didn't know what it was
I don't.
because that shape of aircraft had never been seen in the sky before.
Yeah, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna just put up the photo of the flying wing. Just I'm gonna
That's the
so that you
stealth
can,
bomber.
because you mentioned the fact that, yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is the stealth
That
bomber.
is a stealth bomber.
So
If you look at it, it's got
yeah,
that one doesn't have tail fins on it. There's no
yeah,
tail
it
fins.
doesn't. Yeah.
And the
So
old
how does
flying
this thing
wing
stay in the air?
by a computer.
Yeah. So the key issue is this: all of the sightings of these craft that don't even have wingspans and that defy the law of physics. The
Yeah.
question is, how do they stay up in the air? And I don't want to jump forward into the anti-gravity fuel conversation that you and I have been having, but
Yeah.
it brings that conversation forward, that for a vessel to be able to fly the way those vessels fly and to stay up in the air as long as they do, you need a
Now
different propulsion system.
on this plane, you can see where the jet engines are.
Yeah,
The air intakes are on each side of the fuselage.
yeah,
Now, while
right
you're
here.
looking at that, yeah, that's one, that's two.
Yeah,
So that's your engines. The fuselage carries the crew plus the weaponry.
yeah.
And that wingspan on that thing is huge.
It's massive. I'm trying to comprehend the engineering that went into building this, and the and
It
figure out where the fuel goes. But I think
yeah.
for this craft here, I haven't looked at the schematics or anything, but I think that the fuel essentially uh is spread out all over the fuselage
Well,
because it
in ordinary planes, the fuel tanks are in the wings.
yeah,
And if you look at this, those jet engines are not on the wings.
yeah.
They're next to the fuselage. So there's a whole bunch of space in those wings to put fuel.
Wow.
And that design just still to this day, every time I see one, just floors me. Because I knew about the flying wings from 1947.
Yeah.
We were told about them while we were in basic training in the Air Force. And those flying wings were weird looking as all get out. You could look them up on uh, the internet, and you'll see the propeller engines on them and the tail fins they had on them, and they were completely uncontrollable.
All right. I'm gonna take this away from the screen because look, like these planes are just so cool.
Yes,
Now, Canary King says it's so cool looking.
the stealth
This
bomber.
is
Yes,
American ingenuity.
and
Okay, it's American ingenuity.
the stealth fighters went down almost the same direction, but they do have tail fins on the stealth fighters. And that
Mm,
material they developed to cover those planes in actually absorbs radar signatures,
mm,
radar waves shot at them.
yeah.
They don't, it doesn't bounce back on them. And that's how radar works. It shoots out a wave and then it hits something and comes back. And it'll paint the picture of what's out there. But on those aircraft, they actually absorb it.
Mm,
So somebody at one time said if you want to find a stealth, You have to look and see what's not there. What they meant by that,
Mm.
I have no clue. Because on
Maybe what they mean is if radar is bouncing off stuff in a certain area of the screen, but there seems to be a dead space where radar
yeah,
isn't bouncing off, then maybe there's a stealth plane,
and that would only
in that
work.
vicinity.
That would only work if the stealth was in front of mountains or trees or buildings.
Yeah,
So, and
yeah.
usually they're not. They're way above them. So, and radar only picks up the type of radar they use in military bases. Only pick up solid objects. It won't pick up on
Yeah,
clouds. It will pick up on birds. Birds will show
yeah.
up on radar.
So
That scares them these days because then they think drones.
we're still on the second slide, and we haven't played the videos that you sent up to be included. So so what's the next thing you want us to look at? The video or go on to the next slide?
Let's see the video.
All right.
That video is awesome.
Area 51, one of the most secretive sites in America, isn't just about aliens. Hidden deep in Nevada's desert, it was established in 1955 to test top-secret aircraft like the U-2 spy plane during the Cold War. For decades, the U.S. denied its existence, until 2013 when CIA documents finally confirmed it. But the secrecy sparked endless theories, strange lights, unidentified flying objects, and rumors of alien technology. Some believe it's where the government stores evidence from the 1947 Roswell crash. Others say it's a hub for advanced experimental weapons and aircraft. Even today, Area 51 remains heavily guarded, with warning signs, motion sensors, and restricted airspace. Whatever's inside, the truth is still off limits. And that's exactly why the mystery lives on. What do you think they're hiding? Drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more mysteries from history.
Okay, in Area 51, they brought up that people think that um, it's hiding the wreckage from Roswell, the Roswell crash.
Yeah.
And when I got stationed at Carswell Air Force Base, we were told that the debris from that crash site was loaded onto a semi flatbed and tracked across the mountains from New Mexico to Carswell Air Force Base, loaded on a cargo ship and shipped off to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
So
And
so so that wreckage, supposed wreckage, isn't at Area 51.
no, Area 51 wasn't in all they were doing at Area 51 at that point in time was blowing up nuclear bombs underground.
Mm.
So there wasn't anyone there that could have took an alien spaceship apart. There were no scientists, technicians, uh, or engineers there at that time. All those were housed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Mm.
So if you want to see the Roswell crash stuff, you're going to have to invade Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And I do not advise you to do that because if you go on that base unauthorized, they will shoot you. Every base has the order to use deadly force to stop anybody from coming on that base that isn't authorized. Now, whether they do that or not is up to their own discretion. But if they happen to shoot and kill you because you walked onto that base unauthorized, there ain't a darn thing any of your family or friends members will ever be able to do against that military base for shooting you. And that's something people don't understand. And the Supreme Court would uphold that.
Mm.
The good thing is the only people armed on those bases are your military police. United States military personnel are not allowed to carry weapons on United States soil unless the commander in chief overrides it. That's why on the border you'll see some of the military posted there with weapons. And that was done after the cartels were shooting at Border Patrol agents with military grade weapons. But yeah, its official name is Groom Lake. And that's due to a salt lake that had dried up. It's totally flat. It is so flat that putting a runway there that's over 2 miles long is no problem. And it gives a lot of space to land something that may not stay on the runway.
Yeah. All right. Now, where we have a lot to cover, so we're going to have to skip forward to the origins of the Cold War because there's a reason why bases like Area 51 that was originally meant for nuclear testing suddenly gets converted into testing for avionics.
Yeah.
So let's watch this video and then we'll just kind of talk about it now. If you're in the chat, okay, let's know your thoughts. Is there something that we're missing? Is there something that that hasn't been said? Did you read the title of this live stream and say, okay, they're going to give us a tour of Area 51? No, we're just going to be giving you documented records and accounts of what's going on there, and then maybe we have a conversation about what you think about some of this information. There's a lot of things that has come up during this conversation that I didn't know, prior to meeting Patricia. I assume that Area 51, yes, had some alien artifacts or artifacts that they claim to be alien, but I'm hearing things that are so different. So let me know in the chat. Let us know in the chat if you have some thoughts, or if there's a video out there that you think this video will actually give us more information. Let's know that in the chat. Now let's watch this video, okay, because this is
The
interesting.
F-117 Nighthawk, a stealth fighter aircraft, was another key project tested at Area 51. This aircraft was designed to evade radar detection, making it ideal for nighttime operations. Its development and testing at Area 51 were shrouded in secrecy, adding to the base's mystique.
So the Nighthawk was tested at Area 51.
Yes. The Nighthawk was one of the major things of flying them at night so they weren't detected. The color of them made it very hard to pick up their forms. If a satellite was looking down on Area 51, they wouldn't be able to tell that the plane had taken off, except for heat signatures and the afterburns of the jet engines and stuff. You have to remember it was established in 1955. In 1954, they started building the facilities up in order to move the mechanics, the engineers, the scientists there. And nobody stays on that base that works there outside of maybe some of the military members overnight. I mean, they don't live on the base, there's no base housing. So they fly everybody in there every day from Las Vegas. Yep, and a white plane with a red stripe down it.
All right, so no one lives on the base.
Nobody lives on the base. There's no base housing. But there's always soldiers there.
Right. So the slide says Area 51 was established in 1955 at the height of the Cold War tensions between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. And
Yes.
it was because the CIA needed extreme secrecy, remote location, needed somewhere that was remote, needed needed long flat runways, and Nevada's desert checked all the boxes.
Yes. And it was far enough inland that somebody couldn't come on shore and get to it easily. They'd have to travel across a lot of land to get to Area 51. And now, since they've expanded the size of Area 51, if you get there, you can't even climb a hill to look down on it.
Hmm.
Except that one place, it's called as Tikaboo Lookout. And when you go there, it's miles and miles and miles away from the base, and you can see it between two hills, like in a valley.
Yeah.
So you really have to have equipment when you go that has very significant zoom in features to it to even see that base.
Yeah.
And once
No,
you look at it, you're probably not going to see a whole lot going on there
yeah. And
because they're not out in the open doing things.
yeah, definitely. So there's the talk about the U-2 spy plane, because this was the Cold War we're talking about.
Yes, that
So
plane was awesome.
the site was created primarily to test the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, which could fly much higher than Soviet radar could detect at the time. Ironically,
Yes.
many UFO sightings come from people seeing U-2 test flights at altitudes no commercial aircraft had ever reached before. Wow.
And those planes were made to fly that high not only to get by radar, but the Russians couldn't shoot missiles at them because their missiles wouldn't go that high.
Yeah.
And those pilots that fly them things, they are in a space suit with an
Mm,
closed oxygen feed on them because where they fly at, there is no oxygen.
mm.
You would pass out at the height they fly if you didn't have oxygen feed in a spacesuit. They're right on the brink of going into outer space.
Wow.
And the one thing that we were told about the U-2 was just for it to slow down to start making a turn, it would fly over 3 states. And that
Three, three states the size of the average state in the United States.
correct.
Because when you
Just
say three
to
states,
slow down enough to start making a curved turn.
whoa.
It wasn't to make the turn, it was to slow down enough to start the turn. And that
Okay.
they flew faster than Mach 3. That's the sound of speed, by the way.
Yeah.
So I've never been able to find exactly how fast those planes could go. Now, the new ones they've got fly even faster than that because a U-2 finally did get shot down over the Soviet Union. And that's when they came up with the new spy plane that the
Oh,
Soviet rockets couldn't catch.
oh.
So they can fly them over Russia so fast that nothing can catch them. They can't shoot them down.
Wow.
And the
Okay.
cameras on them things, oh my gosh.
Oh no. Since
I
since since I do videos, okay, I know about camera resolution
Yeah,
and frame rate, and for a camera to be able to catch that amount of detail or capture that amount of detail flying at those speeds, those cameras would be insane.
and that height,
And at that
because they're
height.
like they're like more than a mile up.
Wow.
And when they take a picture of a base, they can zoom in so effectively that they can tell you what size of wrench is laying at a mechanic's feet on the pavement.
All right, so this is an advertisement for the U.S. Government's military spending. Okay, we have our complaints about corruption and $10,000 toilet seats and so on. But
Yep.
when you hear about these things that they've built, which literally work, it's mind blowing. You know,
It's just
you tend
totally
to
off the
forgive
wall.
you tend to want to forgive a $10,000 toilet seat when you hear about this, because the question you're going to ask is how much would the development of that camera and aircraft have had cost? Like
It's
how
millions.
much?
It's millions.
Wow.
And that's just to build the prototype. That's not to put it in production.
And to maintain it.
Yes, because what they do at Area 51 is prototype.
Oh.
This is the test plane that they send up. And I've seen test planes take off before. I got to see the first F-16 take to the air at Carswell. We shared a runway with General Dynamics at that time. Carswell is no longer an Air Force base. What it held was the B-52 bombers for Strategic Air Command over America. We kept planes in the air 24/7 that were loaded with nuclear armament as a response to a nuclear strike. So those planes were off the ground. If we'd had a nuclear strike, they would have been automatically sent to the country that had hit us to
Oh.
drop their nuclear bombs.
So Patricia, you're speaking in past tense, but I would say that those
Yeah.
planes are still up in the air today.
Oh yeah, they've just restationed them at Qatar. They're over in the Middle East. They used them during the war on the Gulf War in Kuwait. They carpet bombed with B-52 bombers in Kuwait.
Okay.
And you don't want to ever be somewhere where a B-52 is going to carpet bomb. That is the most horrific sight you would ever see in your life.
Hmm.
Because we're talking about a mile wide, mile long strip of land with nothing but bomb holes in it.
Hmm.
And you talk about make the earth shake. Yeah, it would do that. And
So
that's just one B-52 bomber can do that.
anyway, let's not go into how many how many the United States has.
It's a bunch.
So it's a bunch. The advanced aircraft testings that took place between 1960 and
The
1980.
1980s.
So there's a video that comes with it, and we're going to talk about it because the question that comes to mind when I look at these videos is: could it be that most of the UFO sightings that have been
Were these
reported
aircraft?
were these
Yeah.
aircraft? Okay, now we're not saying that every UFO sighting that has been reported is a hoax, and we're not saying that every UFO sighting is real. We're simply saying that we're eliminating the hoaxes from the ones that are plausible. And if you've been listening to us talk about this long enough, you know that we do have some agreement that some of those sightings appear to be plausible if everything that is said and that we've seen on those tapes are actually the things that happened, then we need to be asking more questions. So let's watch this video. Don't forget to keep your comments in the chat coming. Now, as always, we like to follow up on any conversations you're interested in the chat. But that will come at the end of of this topic that we're covering. If you want to talk about, say, the stuff going on in Minnesota or the stuff going on in Iran, or you want to talk about something specific that that you're curious about what we have to say about that certain thing, let's know in the chat and we'll do our best to give you our honest opinion on those issues. So let's jump into this video. Let us know what you think.
After After a U-2 in 1960, the need for a faster, higher-flying spy plane was clear. Enter Project Oxcart and the A-12, a titanium marvel, 3 times the speed of sound. Its alien appearance and secret test flights fueled even more UFO reports. The base expanded, new hangars, longer runways, deeper secrecy. The SR-71 Blackbird followed, pushing the limits of flight and public imagination. Every new technology tested here sparked more rumors and sightings. The government's denials only deepened the mystery. Stealth fighters like the F-117 Nighthawk, tested at night, created waves of new reports. Each breakthrough blurred the line between fact and fiction. Area 51 became a crucible for innovation and for legend. The pattern was set: secret projects, strange sightings, official silence. The base's true work remained hidden, but its myth grew ever larger.
So,
Now, the aerodynamics of vehicles have been tested in the saucer shape, but and I know I've seen those tested before, and they can't get them off the ground very far. They kind of bounce around like they're on a string. They just don't have the right propulsion system in them to make them feasible to build them. But do they have test ones at Area 51? Yes, they
I'm trying
do.
to figure out the utility in a saucer-shaped craft. I'm trying to figure out that utility, but then again,
It's the
um,
aerodynamics of it, because you wouldn't have to slow the plane down to turn it.
mm,
There would be no, you know how you put your hand out a car window while you're driving down the road and
yeah,
you can do the wave thing with it?
yeah,
With a round aircraft, that aerodynamic flow over it would not be restrictive to all at once make it go left or right.
okay.
There'd be no slowdown. And that's something about the aerodynamics of a shape of an aircraft like that, is that if you could ever get one powered to where you can fly it, yeah, you could zip around in a lot of different directions in it, but you better have an anti-gravity thing on board, or else you're going to kill the human being in it.
Well, I'm going to make a proposition, and or let me say it. This is a theory. The theory for me is this: for a saucer-shaped craft to work, the entire fuselage would have to be so flexible that it responds to the aerodynamic demands of its flight path. So it's not just going to be a rigid craft. It has to be responsive to currents and everything, that it faces, to do some of the turns that it will need to do while
Oh,
maintaining it's going to need a ton of flexibility. It's so that's what I think. Okay, maybe I'm stretching
well,
it.
that gimbal video that
Yeah.
was taken, that the craft was flying like this, and then all at once it turned
Mm,
like up on its edge and still
mm,
going forward, and it didn't affect the speed of the craft. It didn't slow it down, didn't change anything about the way the craft was moving. And that's when they decided there was a bubble around it.
mm.
So that was crazy.
Right, so let's
And I
read the.
think they
Oh,
did the infrared on it, and they
yeah.
found out that there was a cold area around the entire vehicle when it should have been hot.
There's a different kind of technology that's required to build craft that could theoretically do what these craft of certain shapes can do.
Yes.
So it would require stepping outside of conventional physics. and
Yeah,
study of
according to
metals.
physics, the B-52 bomber and the stealth bomber should not be able to fly,
Yeah,
according to physics. So they went above and beyond and totally outside of physics to build those planes and get them to work.
yeah. So, so let's read this. Over the decades, Area 51 became a testing ground for cutting-edge aviation tech, including the A-12 Oxcart, the precursor of the Aircraft 7
Blackbird.
Blackbird, the F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter, and the radar evading and experimental propulsion designs. All of this secrecy fed UFO rumors because locals and pilots were genuinely seeing aircraft that didn't look or move like anything known at the time.
Correct.
Look, um, I am very open to um, technology that is way ahead of where we are right now. I'm very open to it. Growing up, we watched shows like Space 1999, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Star Wars, and one of the things that shocked a lot of us was when we began to see the devices that we would watch on these shows being sold at stores for $1,000. you know,
Yeah,
um,
flip phones.
flip phones. Like
Yeah,
my first flip phone was a Samsung. Um,
mine too.
uh, you
I
know
love that
and
phone.
and it was the most advanced phone for that price, and it was great and I loved it. And a few short months after that, the iPhone was released.
Yeah. Now you
Look,
can imagine in my lifetime, we went from a telephone hanging on a wall or had a cord running to the wall with it. And there was a cord attached to the hand receiver that you'd hold up to your ear to
yeah,
talk on it. One end was what you heard with, the other end was the microphone you spoke into.
yeah,
So you had a speaker on one end of that phone that you put on your ear, and when you did that, then the microphone was under your mouth. Now those phones, the first one we ever had in our home was a party line. That meant that other people were on the same phone line we were. And if they picked their phone up while you was on it, they could hear everything you said. And when you lived in a neighborhood with older folks in it, especially nosy female folks, they would sit and listen to your conversation while you were on the phone. And that was hysterical. And then they came out with cordless phones that you could walk around your house with and talk on it. You couldn't go out very far outside of the house, and that kept improving. And then lo and behold, they came up with this phone that you can put in your car and take down the road with you that wasn't a satellite phone. And
yeah.
those were huge.
And then
So
Apple decides that they will come up with these phones that you would wear on your wrist. you
yes,
know and like you could literally answer your calls on your Apple Watch. Like, we saw this happen on Star Trek and Star Wars.
yeah,
Comms that were strapped to your wrist, and you talk. And in under 50 years, everything that we watched on the screens, apart from the transporters, being able to beam
yeah.
people, from one location to another.
I would not want to go through that. I keep thinking of that old movie, The Fly.
Oh no, like even if it were to be invented, and all the experts line up to convince me of how solid the technology is, and people who have used it have rave reviews. I would never get into one of those. Never.
No,
So I'm just
that's
saying that
for younger
upfront.
generations yet to come.
Yeah.
They can play around with that stuff, but you won't convince us older folks of doing that.
Yeah.
What, rearrange our molecules? Oh heck no.
Oh no, no, I'm
No.
not. I am not. And then a fly happens to join you in the pod while that's going
Yep.
on.
You come out with a fly head that and a little bitty fly is flying around with your head screaming,
Oh
"Help me,
gosh.
help me."
Oh no. Let's move on. Okay, aliens, UFOs, and conspiracies. Now we're getting into cringe territory. Aliens, UFOs, and conspiracies. So we're gonna watch this video. Okay, now guys, let's know what you think in the chat. We're 1 hour in, and the question is: do we get to the end of this content, or do we split it into two? Because we were thinking that we wouldn't be able to get through everything um in less than 40 minutes, but we've gone over an hour right now. So we're going to go through this, watch it, and then just let's know your thoughts here, because here's the thing. With if you style yourself as someone who's interested in alien artifacts, technology, ancient civilizations, you tend to have an opinion on these things. You don't just sit and listen to anything you're being fed. Okay, people who watch content on alien technologies, ancient civilizations, Area 51, alien tech, all of this, people who engage in stuff like this are essentially people who have an opinion on these things. They develop their opinions, they have ideas on how these things may or may not work. Okay. They are skeptical. It doesn't mean that everyone who listens to stuff like this is gullible. We are very skeptical about everything, so that's why it's really hard to convince us that the things we're seeing on the screen aren't the things we're seeing on the screen. So and we scrutinize everything. Okay, so um let's know your thoughts, because if you're still watching, you have an opinion. So let's know what you think. So let's watch this video.
They say it's where they stashed UFOs, alien bodies, and secret experiments. A place so secret it didn't officially exist for decades. But behind the fences and desert dust, the truth about Area 51 is even stranger than the myths. In the middle of Nevada's desert lies Area 51, a name that's become shorthand for government secrets and alien cover-ups. For years, the US denied it even existed. No maps, no acknowledgement. Just whispers. And that silence became the perfect breeding ground for conspiracy. The most famous story? That the US government brought the wreckage, and maybe even the bodies, from the 1947 Roswell crash here for study. But the truth is far more earthly. During the Cold War, Area 51 was used to test top-secret aircraft like the U-2 spy plane and the A-12 Oxcart. They flew higher than any commercial jet. So when civilians spotted mysterious lights moving in ways no known plane could, the UFO legend practically wrote itself. Then came the rumors of hidden labs, human testing, alien autopsies, strange radiation. In reality, Area 51's secrecy wasn't about monsters. It was about military technology, radar evading stealth planes, advanced drones, weapons systems decades ahead of their time. But when people can't see what's happening, they imagine what could be happening. Some claim there's a massive underground base, tunnels connecting Area 51 to other secret facilities across the US. While there are underground structures, hangars, and bunkers, there's no evidence of a hidden city. Still, it's a compelling idea. The notion that something vast lurks just below the surface. For nearly 60 years, the government wouldn't even admit Area 51 was real. That changed in 2013, when the CIA declassified U-2 documents and finally acknowledged the site. But by then, the damage, or the legend, was done. Once a secret is denied that long, no amount of truth can erase the mystery. So no, Area 51 isn't hiding aliens. But it is hiding something, a mirror. A mirror reflecting our deepest fears about government power, secrecy, and the unknown. When the truth stays locked behind barbed wire, the imagination fills in the blanks, and the myth becomes immortal.
So
Now, I
the
can
aliens.
say that I would never tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt, they do not have alien spaceships there. I don't know.
Hmm.
I know there are things there that look like alien spaceships, and where they got those concepts from, who knows? Somebody thought it up, or else they're looking at one and reconstructing it. Um, could they be reverse engineering spacecraft? Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Well,
America's done it,
we're
and
going to
Russia's
be
done it.
we're going to listen to an Area 51 whistleblower, and one of the things that revived my curiosity on this topic was when there was a hearing at Congress back in, I think it was back in 2024, when
Yeah,
they brought out this guy who said that who essentially came out to say yes, that the government does have the remains essentially of an extraterrestrial being. And one of the questions that I was asking at the time was this: why now? Why are you coming up with this in the middle of a very tenuous presidential um, election cycle, when people are talking about other things that seem to be really serious? The government is essentially just owning up to everything that they've denied for the last 70 years. So um it was weird, okay, to go through that, and I it just reopened that conversation for me. Now, the alien connection really took off in the 1980s and 1990s, fueled by declassified documents with heavy redactions, former employees making sensational claims. We're going to be watching one of them. Pop culture, The X Files, Independence Day, Star Wars, Star Trek,
yeah.
Space 1999, Battlestar Galactica. Great shows, great stories. You know, and then no one talks about the moon landing. Okay, the moon landing, the the moon landing essentially, like when you look at all of these pop culture tent poles, the moon landing should be top of the list, because that incident changed the world. It changed everything. Like, you look up at the moon, and the moon was no longer this thing that was way up there, that essentially was the light source when things got dark. It became a place where men had visited and left their mark. Like, it's changed everything for everyone. So the moon landing essentially is responsible for this. Um, Even more than all the other things that we're talking about, whether Star Trek, Star Wars, and so on. Now, despite decades of rumors, no credible evidence has ever surfaced that Area 51 houses alien spacecraft or beings.
And it never
But
will.
but we have an official acknowledgement. Now we're going to play the video of an Area 51 whistleblower. Well, we have a bunch of videos, but we'll just play this one, and we'll listen to him talk, and then we'll basically dive in and just talk about this, because, like I said, we're all skeptics here. We're all
Yeah,
skeptics.
this is a small dose of him,
Yeah.
by the way. Very small dose.
All right. So let's have a listen.
Are we alone in the universe or not? Have they been coming here? These are questions that everybody seems interested in, so I'll play a clip.
My name's Bob Lazar. I'm known for working at a classified base near Area 51. And there, we reverse engineered alien spacecraft. Everything that we have, whether it's a propeller plane or a jet or a rocket, it throws something out the back, either high-speed exhaust or a large volume of air. This is the first time there's a craft that's a reactionless craft. It's a field propulsion craft. And what it does is it creates a distortion in space and time in front of it, where space actually bends. My analogy to that has always been put a bowling ball in the middle of your bed, take your fist and push down on the mattress. The bowling ball will roll towards it. There's another civilization in existence that's intelligent that we know about. And we actually have artifacts from them that can operate. So, I mean, that's a big, big deal.
What's the message of your story?
The big thing is the suppression of extremely advanced technology and the suppression of unknown science.
Now, one of the things that strikes me about people like Bob Lazar and people who speak like him on topics like this is how certain and how direct they are that they are telling you the truth.
And
So when you're
his story has never changed. He's not changed the information he gives. It's not added to or taken away from. It's always the same. That this is what he did at Area 51.
look, so in a couple of years, I'll be 50 years old. And in a few years after that, you know, if things keep going the way they're going in the world and nothing essentially changes drastically, you know, I'll be dead and gone, and my kids will be the ones talking like I'm talking right now about turning 50. You know, and the question that I keep asking myself is, if things continue at this pace with, let's assume everything that Bob has said in his videos and his interviews is actually true, what will the world look like when all of these discoveries become mainstream?
Hey, our teachers informed us we were supposed to already have flying cars by now.
Well, you see, that's the thing. It's 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 not that flying cars aren't possible. It's not that they're not possible. But the question for me would always be, are we capable are we capable of handling that technology in a responsible way?
Well, we've
That
not done too good with the motor powered cars.
Yeah, like that for me is the question. People talk about fossil fuels being a problem and needing to go to renewable energy. We already have an energy source that is clean enough and that can do everything that the people who are concerned about the environment want for a an energy source, and that is nuclear. But we have people who will take a perfectly good, okay, not perfectly good, but a good energy source that is clean and that and has a higher output than fossil fuels. But what would they want to do with that technology? They would want to go and blow the people that they hate or disagree with up. So
Yeah.
the question is, if you have a flying car, okay, you have people who flew a jet or jets into buildings 23, 24 years ago, or is it 25 years now?
Yeah.
And that's what they did with building. So sorry, with planes the size of buildings. Okay. Now, if you give every one of us access to flying cars, what would these characters do with flying cars? We see what they do at Christmas parties, or sorry, Christmas markets in Europe, where they plow through people at Christmas markets with regular cars. What would they
Yep.
do with flying cars? Okay. So it's essentially military grade transportation being handed to the civilian population. And we have the conversation around gun laws and what people do with firearms. Okay, there are good people who want to use the firearms for sport and to protect themselves and their loved ones. There are other people whose sole aim is to cause pain, grief, and loss for as many people as they can. This is the
Yeah.
world that we live in. So the question may not even be whether the technology is achievable. The question might just be if we drive technology as fast as we're capable of, we would be living in hell, literally, because the people who get a hold of those advanced tools can only think of one thing to do with it.
That's bad things.
So maybe at some point we'll talk about Nikola Tesla, because Tesla, if all of the things that have been said about his work is to be believed, and if they are true, he had solved the problem of energy
Yes.
a long time ago. I think he called it was he the one who called it 0 point energy? He may have been the one,
I think
where
so.
where
Yeah.
energy is being pulled from another dimension. Like, and he ran experiments on this and it worked. So there's the only reason why we won't be flying in cars in 20, 50, 100 years, 200 years is just people are evil. Okay, that's the only reason.
That
People can
and greed.
only, yeah, that and what?
Greed.
Yes, and greed. Because the story about Nikola Tesla is that when he told his sponsor, I believe his sponsor was JP Morgan,
Yep.
that the energy source that he had invented would negate the need for an electrical grid. JP Morgan freaked out and decided that he was essentially going to destroy Nikola Tesla, because he wasn't investing all this money in order to give people free energy. He was investing it in, in the uh believing that there was a way he could monetize or get paid for whatever
Yeah,
invention.
make a profit off of it.
Yes, him and his grandchildren. And there's nothing wrong with going into business to make a profit. Nothing wrong whatsoever.
Well,
But
when you look at the profit margins on energy companies, and I'm talking about not only the electric grid, but energy overall. You've got people who drill wells,
yeah,
and then they transport it to processing centers. And then that is shipped out in several different forms to different things.
yeah,
And then you've got the solar energy people. Solar energy is not a cheap, efficient energy. It is just not. It's not got there yet. It's very expensive to put it on a home, and you are at the mercy of the weather to run it. It will still produce on a cloudy day, but not like it will in full sunlight.
yeah,
So one day you may have enough energy to run everything in your home, and the next day, oh, you're going to have to turn that TV off. Shut those computers down, because if you don't, the fridge ain't going to work and we can't cook your food or heat or cool your home. So until it gets to that point, it's out of the question to make it a major source of energy. When we've got all these telephone poles out here in front of our homes with the lines running on them coming from the power plants that feed it straight into your home, and you've got all you'd ever need to run whatever you want inside your home. So until they get it to that point, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just ain't gonna happen. And
I-
they're making money off of it right now. All those power plants and all these oil wells and the developers on the green side, they've made a killing off of it. And to give that up for something free,
no.
don't you dare think about taking money away from somebody who's pocketing it.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, I'll talk about this, some other time. But, um, um, most of the world doesn't think about money, or don't think about money the same way the millionaires and the billionaires think about money. Money for them is not something to spend. It's a weapon.
Yep.
It's a
It's an
weapon.
accumulation.
It's a sword, and it's a shield. There's a there's a level you get to in life financially, and you understand how dangerous the world is,
Yeah.
and how important it is to safeguard not just you, but your family and the things that you value. And the only way to do it for most of these people is to accumulate enough swords and shields in order to do what they like, to protect the thing that they value. So it is not about greed for some of these people. It's about survival for a bunch of them. So sometimes when we decide that it's a greed issue for these people, there's a small percentage of them that it's all about greed. And these are the people who maybe they were born into wealth, and for them it's just about keeping as much of it as possible, because they don't even know how to grow wealth. They don't know how to make it. They only inherited it. So for them it's greed. But for people who know how to create it, they come up out of poverty or not having as much as they currently do have, and they see how much of it they need to protect themselves. And that is the
That's
thing that
that's
drives them.
that's one of the things about Elon Musk that shocked me the first time I seen a picture of him.
Mm,
Very rich man. And what did I see in the first picture of him? A t-shirt, a pair of blue jeans.
mm,
And I was going, what? Not a designer suit, not designer shirts, not designer shoes, but a t-shirt, a pair of blue jeans.
yeah,
And he still does that to this day. His whole concept is what he can build.
yeah.
And I don't even think he registers making money off of it.
No, no, he
Because
doesn't.
if he was concerned that much about money, he would have never bought Twitter.
Like I said, you see it as a sword and a shield. He wasn't poor by any means. Okay, his family was
No.
maybe middle class or upper middle class. But when you don't have as much as he currently has, and you come into that wealth, and you see that all it takes is for the economy to sneeze, and someone writes a policy, and you lose everything. You have to figure out a way to continue to make more to protect yourself, and that's what he did when he got the money that he made from his stake at PayPal. What did he
Yep.
do after he got his stake at PayPal? SpaceX.
Yep.
And then after that, Tesla. Then
Tesla.
after that, X. Then after that, the Boring Company. I think the Boring Company came before that. Look, he's pushing Starlink, which was
Yep.
essentially. Do you know what Starlink is? Starlink is Elon selling you trash. Now let me explain. when you shoot a rocket into space, the conventional wisdom back in the 70s and the 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s was when you fire a rocket into space, the main propulsion is jettisoned and it either splashes down into the ocean and is lost, or it floats off into space and it just keeps going. So those rockets were essentially trash.
Right.
Elon figured out how to ensure that they don't lose the investment in the rockets, that they can recover the rockets and reuse them. Secondly, anything that he can put up in the atmosphere that can be used for a different kind of business, he figured it out, put up his satellites. That was where Starlink was born. The trash that people just left in space, he decided that he was going to convert his trash into a business.
And it was mind-blowing. I mean, a rocket comes back down to Earth and he captures it before it hits the ground.
And no one else on the planet
had
does
ever
it.
done that. Yeah. That was
And
unimaginable that you would catch a
yeah,
rocket coming back down to Earth and be able to reuse the darn thing.
see,
You can recycle it. Unreal.
that is capitalism, guys. So for the people who claim that capitalism is responsible for the destruction of oceans or the ecosystem, this is a guy who wants to make money, and his first step is, how does he save money?
Yep.
How does he save money? And one major way of saving money is figuring out how to do it cheaper. Look, that's capitalism. Okay. So if let's keep reading, because we kind of got sidetracked, but it's important that we realize, that this is the way these people think. And to be honest with you, one of the things that I want to learn how to do is to think differently about wealth, about money, about politics, because even with politics, sometimes I wonder whether we are not overreacting about some of the things that we're watching. Because when you look at the politicians calmly stand in front of the microphone and lie to us like it's
Yeah.
nothing. Okay.
And they're not held to the same standard as somebody who has to go and testify before Congress. That
No,
if they're caught lying, they get locked up in jail. But a congressman can lie to you and nothing happens.
they can lie on the floor of Congress and
Yep.
nothing happens to them. Okay, so that is the baffling part of the entire thing.
Well, you'd never get a law passed that would hold them accountable for lies.
Yeah.
Because they are the very people who would have to pass the law.
Yeah.
That's why they get away with it. They protect themselves by not passing laws that holds them to accountability.
Yeah. All right.
Even though we demand it.
So before the show is over, okay, well, let's keep going. For years, the US government wouldn't even admit Area 51 existed. That changed in 2013 when the CIA declassified the documents, explicitly acknowledging the base's existence, its role in testing spy planes and advanced aircraft. This confirmation actually reduced speculation for some, but hardcore conspiracy fans doubled down instead. So
now that part is excellent for a cover up of reverse alien technology. It's like somebody wanting to know what you're doing out in your garage that you don't want nobody else knowing that you're working on, and you throw a little bit of tidbits out there that will cover it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just working on an engine. They don't know you're working on a jet engine, and they automatically assume it's something else.
you show them enough to know that okay, he's working on something that's metallic, that runs on fossil fuels. Yeah, he's working on
Yep.
his engine. You don't exactly tell him it's a jet engine.
Right.
So let's just cover the rest of this, and then we'll start landing the plane. But let's know your thoughts in the chat or in the comments section about this episode. We these are things that aren't sexy, guys. The truth most of the time isn't sexy, but when you continue to drill down on the truth, that's where you begin to find explosive things.
Yep.
Because like I said, why why was it that the government decided to throw out a bone saying that, oh, there's alien um what did he call it, biological material in the
Yep.
possession of the United States government? Why are they telling us this now? Okay, surely it wasn't because there was a presidential election in a few months. It's not that. It's that there's stuff happening that is, and of course, there's the ubiquity of the internet, where anything that happens now, you have a strong enough camera on your phone to capture it. Every one
And
of us has
hundreds
access.
do. Hundreds of people do.
Yeah, yeah. So this isn't going to be like back in the 60s where someone would have a genuine alien encounter and they would be hushed by being called crazy or conspiracy theorists. There's
Or it was
something,
explained as swamp gas.
exactly, there's something coming. There's something coming that is so in your face that they have to get out ahead of it to prepare you and I for what's coming. So that they say to you, oh, we knew about this all along, and this is what it actually is. Okay, they want us to believe that the thing that we're seeing is actually something else. So they're getting out ahead of it to tell us something else, because they're not telling us out of the goodness of their hearts. They're
No.
telling us because something else is coming that's going to upset the power dynamic.
Well, here's
And
the thing. Back
yeah,
in the 40s and the 50s, the thing that people heard from the background was that if people knew the truth, they would panic. So when the Pentagon released the Tic Tac and the gimbal videos, do you realize that nobody went into panic mode?
no,
Nobody did. We asked the question of, is this a threat to us? And the consensus is no, because if it was, those things are so technically advanced that they could take us out in a heartbeat and we wouldn't be able to stop them. So are they hostile? Evidently not. Because why wait for us to get the technology to counteract them when they're already so far advanced that they can do it right now?
well, my question is, will we ever be able to catch up to their technology? Because I
Yeah,
don't think, you know,
we
any civilization that is that far advanced enough um has
it
the
may take
capability of,
us several 100 million years from now, but uh, could we accept that technology today if it was exposed to us?
I
I
I
believe
think I
I
think
I
we
think we
would.
could,
Yes, we could, because of Hollywood.
but what would we do with it?
The same old things we've
That's
always done.
that's where I've always said, if I was an alien species observing Earth, there is no way in all the heavens I would allow humans to run amok in the universe because they can't get along with each other on one planet. What in God's name would they do with 30 different planets with species on them?
Well, humans, and I'm saying the human race now, the human race is the Taliban. Okay, so here's what the Taliban did when Joe Biden essentially gifted them with how much did those weapons cost? Billions of dollars worth of weapons. What
Yep.
did they do with it? They paraded the streets, had some public executions, and decided that they were going to double down on oppressing anyone that they were stronger than. That's what humans do.
Yep.
You give them a gift, they don't say thank you very much, we'll be nice people now. They decide that this is now an endorsement of their perceived right to oppress anyone who isn't as strong as they are. So that is the danger of having advanced technology in the hands of people like us. Okay.
And the sad part of that is humans have always been that way. Always. All the way back to the Stone Age,
Yep.
when this group of people came in contact with another group of people, they attacked them
Yep.
and took what that group had. The winner took all. That evolved into the medieval times when the all of Europe was covered by feudal lord systems, meaning that you were the ruler of this region and you didn't like the ruler of that region, so you were constantly attacking them. And then countries developed. Once countries developed, it kind of stabilized it. But yet today we have one country attacking another country. So it's less often in today's world that happens. I mean, in the past 30 years, you've had Vietnam, Kuwait, the war on terrorism, and Afghanistan was targeted for that, and then Iraq, and you've got Russia and Ukraine, you've got Iran feeding all the terrorist groups, and there's still battles going on in Africa between nations, and even battles within the countries going on, the civil wars and everything. So that's been a marker for humanity ever since humanity started developing.
Yeah.
And it's not changed. It still hasn't changed. So have we learned our lesson? No.
No.
We don't love humanity enough to protect it yet. And that's where Reagan said, I wonder if there was a alien force that came to Earth, would the population on Earth unite to fight against it?
The only thing the alien force has to do is give donations to every world power. Tell them, hey, we're your friends. Hey, have some alien military technology. We're your
Yep.
friends. And then just take a vacation for 5 years. They would come back to a smoldering ash heap
Yes, they would.
because we will do the job for them as humans, and that's why for me, okay, and this is where I I bring out my convictions. Okay, I'm a Christian, and when I read history, I can see that the only reason why humanity evolved and has actually become accustomed to the strong protecting the weak, and strong nations like the United States going out of its way to protect weaker countries or populations in oppressed countries like Iran, is because of the teachings of Jesus Christ. Yes, people are
Yes.
going to wince and disagree that Jesus didn't teach People had to shoot other people in order to protect someone else. But oh no, you don't know the Bible yet, if that's what you think. So um yeah, so that's a conversation that we can have. I am a pacifist. I don't like war or fighting, but there is a place for the use of force to protect the weak. It is right there all over the scriptures. So it's amazing to unpack some of these conversations. But let's keep going. We're at the final stretch now. Area 51 today. So let's just read this. It's still active. It's still heavily restricted, and it's guarded by armed security. Okay, the guys in camouflage that you guys, most of the woke people don't like seeing on the streets. Yeah, those guys, those are the ones protecting
Yep.
the technology and the weapons that they could use to
The
snuff out half the
military
planet.
enforcement.
Yep, airspace above it is prohibited. You can't fly drones. Like your drones would stop working if you attempted to fly your drones above or over Area 51.
Yep. And then
It
they're
remains.
going to come after you no matter where you are around that
Oh
area
yeah,
because
they'll pay you a
they
nice visit.
know where the signal came from to control the drone.
Yep.
Don't
It
think they
remains a
don't, they
hub.
do.
Yeah, it remains a hub for experimental military aviation, but not for extraterrestrials. So,
Yeah,
sorry,
no
ET
spaceships
doesn't
are
live at
landing
Area
there.
51. ET
No,
doesn't
they're
live at
not
Area
landing there.
51. Okay, so
They now I'm not saying that they haven't flown over it or checked it out. Um, but and I would never say we're not reverse engineering something because I do know that after World War II, when we shot down a Russian plane or one crashed, we went out and got it and brought it back and stripped that thing apart to see how it was working.
yeah,
And the Russians did the same thing when the U 2 was shot down.
yeah,
So, could they be reverse engineering things at Area 51? Yes, they could be. That is a possibility.
yeah.
We don't know because we're not privileged to the information going there.
No, we are not. Okay, let's jump into why the mystery of this whole thing stuck. All right. Um, Area 51 became legendary because it combined extreme secrecy, weird looking aircraft, government denial, and human imagination. All of those things are really, really potent. When people don't get answers, they invent stories, and some of those stories are way more fun than the truth. And like I said, the
Yep.
truth is boring, but when you keep drilling and digging, you find some explosive nuggets, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, wow!" For example, we make jokes that the human race may have copied someone else's work. Okay,
Yep.
and it's like, ha ha ha, he human. Does that mean that the human race is not smart enough to develop these things? No, the the human race has to be smart enough to be able to look at someone else's work and be able to adapt it for our own our own uses. I don't know. In high school, maybe you had these people who would copy off everyone's work during exams, and they would still fail because
Yep.
they would copy everything, including the name of the person who wrote the exam. Okay, but so there it requires a degree of intelligence for you to be able to look at someone else's work, get 500 other scientists who don't even know each other to sit in different rooms to piece together that one technology that you're trying to reverse engineer and to come up with a single conclusion which creates whatever technology it is that we're looking at today, and tracing back to the work that they did at Area 51. So we need to appreciate how genius the human mind is. We also have to appreciate the fact that there are questions out there that are yet unanswered. And some of the things that we're seeing in the media, in politics, in the news, tends to tell us that we're being herded in a certain direction because they don't want us to head in this other direction. They want us to look over here instead of looking over here. And the
Yeah.
way to break that hypnosis is to ask the right questions. And there's no such thing as a bad question. Okay, if the question might be stupid, but it's stupid questions or it's bad questions that tend to break your hypnosis. For example, today I was doing some cleaning around the house, and then a question crosses my mind. What if Trump was actually the bad guy? And I've been supporting a bad guy all along. Do you know what I had to do in my head? I had to start going through all of the news reports that I had been following for the last 10 years. I had to go through all of the stories that the press told me was the truth, but it turned out that they lied. I had to go through everything that essentially they told me, oh, they got him now. Like I could show you my news feed, and you would see stories of people who claim that Trump would be in prison wearing an orange jumpsuit today because he was surely guilty of everything that he had been accused of doing. Okay, but
Yep.
he's the president of the United States today, and when you look at the cases that they were throwing at him, they were frivolous and reckless, and they were all lies. When you look at it at face value, is he a saint? Trump is not Jesus. He says things that makes most of us cringe. Okay, he
And
says
he's not
things
a
that we don't
preacher
agree
either.
with. He's not a preacher. He don't, and he never
Nope.
claims to be a preacher. He never claims to be a good guy. Okay, but everyone who wants to claim to be a good guy, you see the things that they actually do, and you're like, my God, this person who wants us to believe that his shit doesn't smell. Come on.
Yeah.
So um you ask yourself these jarring questions. Is my is my position on this policy actually correct or right? Or am I just brainwashed by the echo chamber that I'm in? These are the kinds of questions that I ask myself regularly, because if I'm going to sit in front of a camera and try to tell you, hey, this is what I think about this, I have to be sure that in 15, 20 years, when you come back to me and point at me to say, aha, this thing that you said 20 years ago was false, and we look through the records, I want to be certain that I am sincere about my position. Two, I want to be certain that I have kicked over every rock, looked over all the facts, and I came to a conclusion. And if I was wrong, it was because the truth was so well hidden that I didn't see it, not because I didn't want to see it. So
Right.
these are the kinds of things that I do routinely. And when we come to topics like this, that's basically the outlandish thing about Area 51 and so on. Oh,
Well,
and I came across
is it outlandish to think
it's
that there are aliens?
I
I
don't think
don't think
so.
so.
I watched a
Yeah.
video. I watched a video this week, and this might blow your mind. I watched a video this week. It was covering, it was interviews on YouTubers that had really, that were doing great. And I was watching their interviews, and one of them was reviewing a video that they did about um, the amount of data we have about space compared to the amount of data that we have about the ocean floor on our own planet.
We know more
And
about Mars than we do about the
we
floor
know
of the
more about
ocean.
Mars, and the ocean floor on our own planet hasn't been mapped. We don't know what's down there.
Aliens.
Exactly. Like, we don't know what's down there. And when she said this, I was like, okay, there's something going on here. We're intentionally being told, look over here. But
And then there was these cave paintings found in Europe of a mer people herding fish in toward the shore for the land people to capture them. for food. And then there's another one that shows those land people at war with the mer people.
Yeah.
And then the mer people drop out of sight of the historical record. No more mention of mermaids except my lowly sailors out on an ocean.
We have so much, like, there are questions to be asked. All of these technologies that have been developed to look into space, that show uh, pictures of planets and nebula that are light years away, and they show them in great detail. And yet
Yes.
we don't know what the ocean floors look like.
Isn't that
We
crazy?
don't know. We like that was just a 10-15 second segment of that video. That video must have been 40 minutes long.
And
And
that's
I
like
and I
scientists who said that life forms couldn't exist in very high heated environments, but yet they've got an algae that grows in these hot pools out in Yellowstone, and they found animals living around volcanic vents in the ocean, that the water was so heated that if you put anybody else there, they would automatically die. They'd be cooked. So it's crazy.
no, it's um conversations like this excite me. Um
And the octopus, where'd the hell did that thing come from? It
so
can open a
guys,
jar.
like, it's we live in a beautiful, fascinating world, and there's so many questions to be asked. We're surrounded by amazing people, yet we're being encouraged to hate people who don't dress the same like we do, or have the same skin tone like we do, or think the same way we do, or vote the same way we do. We're being encouraged to fight the beautiful people that are surrounding us, and not listen to them or talk with them or learn from them. Okay.
You put
and
everybody in their own little box.
and
Then you
tell
put the
them that.
boxes next to each other, and then they all start fighting.
So
Don't
it's
be put in a box.
no, don't be put in a box in your head or in your world. um that's why we keep encouraging you guys to jump in the comment section and in the chat.
I
Don't.
mean, I asked you a question one time about Africa,
Yeah.
that it is a known fact that humans came out of Africa. A known fact. There's no mystery about that at all. So why weren't there ancient ruins there? Well, now I have to take that back, because they are discovering ancient ruins in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are ancient ruins there. They've just not been talked about. And when they come up with carbon dating things they find at those, and the one thing people need to understand, when they carbon date a site, it's not the stone that the site was made out of, because you can't carbon date stone.
Mm.
They carbon date artifacts found there. And what that will tell you is who used that site the last time, not who built it.
Yeah.
So you've always got to keep that in the back of your mind when they're discussing these ancient ruins, like Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah.
They're calling it 12,000 years old. I bet you bottom dollar it's older than that, because it comes before human written history, because nobody knew it was there. It was discovered by a shepherd who seen a stone sticking up out of the ground. Nobody knew that place existed before they dug it up. So there you have it, and I call that lost civilization.
Yeah.
And no telling how long it was there and who built it. How long was it buried? We don't know. We
No,
do
we
know
don't.
that the last testable artifact from there was 12,000 years old. But yet that place could be 25,000 years old, 50,000 years old, or even older than that. So
Sorry,
keep an open mind to that date thing that comes up all the time.
yeah. Um so this is Saturday evening. We're kicking back and having a conversation. And you know what? I'm trying to learn how to be more relaxed about these live streams. I was almost getting worked up leading up to the live stream because the technology started acting up. The kids started asking for things. My wife was calling right as the live stream was supposed to be happening. And because we try to do a good job to present you with great content, um, we always feel stressed out when it's almost like we're not positioning ourselves to do it properly. So, but we're going to continue to figure out how to make this more fun. Okay. And one of the things that makes it fun is when you, the audience, engages and you send us your thoughts on the stories that we've covered. Now,
I love it when people go off the rails.
oh no, I love it. Always send your emails. Let us know what stories you'd like us to cover. If you're watching this after the fact, send us an email. Let us know if there's something that you want us to clarify. We want to create an atmosphere where we can literally talk about these things and just have fun talking about it. Now, um, Patricia is on the show not because um, she lives next door, but because she sent me an email or a series of emails.
And
Okay.
make
And
paragraph comments
yeah,
on one of your feeds.
exactly. And I'll be honest with you. We're waiting for you guys to get in the chat as well. We're waiting for you guys to engage. We're waiting for you guys to connect. Now, back to the issue that we talked about briefly earlier in the live stream concerning the live stream, where the new home of our live streams. We we wanted our live streams to live at a different channel. One of the problems we had with that channel, and it's not a problem, but it's just a situation, is that that channel already had an existing audience, which was being fed a certain type of video. Okay, 5 minute videos targeting political stories. And right now, for the last month, we've only had one consistent viewer on that channel, one, whenever we go live. And that person is watching right now. Okay, you know who you are. So the channel that's called Crossroads, it's now been called retitled Crossroads Daily. Now, with Crossroads Daily, what we're going to be doing with Crossroads Daily is I'm going to be doing what I was doing originally on the main channel, which is um, r- reaction videos on news stories. So if there's a news story that's out there, I pick it up, do a reaction video on it. It goes on Crossroads Daily. The main channel was built off of a certain type of video, historical content, and targeted videos that if you're watching or if you've seen the recent videos that we've released on the main channel, those are the kinds of videos that you're going to be seeing on that channel going forward. So it's changing because um, just like I said earlier, we're trying to make the quality of the content match your expectations. If you subscribe to a channel to get 5 minute shorts or 5 minute videos on targeted niche content, seeing a 3 hour live stream can be jarring sometimes. So we're seeing that those 3 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour live streams began to destroy. Actually, we were bleeding subscribers at some point earlier in the year. So we had to make some changes. And we want to do this in a responsible way. We want to respect your time. We want to respect the reason why you come to these channels. And we want to honor that as much as we can. I am just one person, and Patricia assists me with the live streams. We love doing these live streams. And I decided, okay, we're going to create this live stream channel because if I'm going to, you know, if I'm going to maintain, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because maintain is a weird word. But if I'm going to honor the availability of Patricia, of Tony, Canary King, in Intergalactic Wrangler, people who essentially connected with me because of the live stream. I need to create an expression that honors them. Okay. And I don't want to, yes, no, I'm doing that because you guys mean a lot to me. And I want to respect that and honor that. I also want to respect the people who had joined the earlier channels for certain
Yes.
reasons. Okay, I have one
They have a
subscriber,
need. They have a need for what you gave. And
Patricia.
yes, that needs to continue.
I have a subscriber, and I'm just going to call her name. She may never watch this live stream because we already left the main channel. She's a subscriber on the main channel, and her name is Lynn, Lynn. Lynn started following the channel maybe last January of 2025, and by March of 2025, when my mom died, she I sent out a YouTube comment saying my mom died. I can't comment. I can't do anything. Please understand. Lynn says to me, I understand. We'll be here waiting for you when you get back. And she's still here.
Yes.
So she's not going to see this because she doesn't follow this. We've left the main channel, but it's people like that who I want to respect and honor. She doesn't watch the live streams. She follows only the short form content. So I'm gonna do my best to you know as much as I can to honor and respect all of you for with gosh, I'm trying to be very professional here. But remembering that comment and seeing her still enter the comment, and it's been almost a year and she's still here. She waited until I got through what I was going through, got back to posting content, wasn't as regular as I was. She stayed throughout all the experimenting that we did last year. She didn't unsubscribe. I mean, it's people like that
Yes.
that I'm thinking of, and I'm like, okay, I need to honor these people and say, okay, because what people would normally do is, okay, to if you don't want to follow me because of the changes in my life, go to hell. I don't care about you guys anyways. I have new friends. So
Oh,
there are people who
whoa.
actually treat their audience that way. But you know, um, I'd I don't want to be that guy, and I just wanted to be sure that I'm making the right decision with some of the changes that. And when Canary King says to me, you should live stream more. If and I said and I asked him, and I know he'll remember. I said to him, if you promise me that you will tune into every live stream that I do, I'm going to do this. And he promised. And you can see that on the average live stream, whenever we go live, Canary King faithfully, his first chat faithfully, he does this. He does this all the time. Faithfully. He's
And
usually the
he
first
is an
person,
amazing person.
you know. So I'm not usually emotional, but I'm sorry. I'm usually not emotional, but
You
um
have built something really unique, and you've done it on several levels. With your main channel, you have met needs that people have had that have questioned things about history and how it has affected today, where it has evolved from and built into. And then I come along and throw a whole bunch of monkey wrenches into it. And I go off the wall a lot. I will leave the rails and everybody's going, how do we get on that subject? And it's weird how my brain works. And Canary Kid, you are an amazing person.
yes, he is.
Very impressive,
Yeah,
very intelligent, very knowing. He's
yeah.
over my head.
Oh no.
I could say that. I could listen to him talk all day long and knowing that I do not know what he does. And I can pick up things from him that is very educational.
He has succeeded at avoiding calling in whenever we're having
Yes.
some of these conversations. Okay, so that's not fair. Not that he's avoiding it, but he's busy. And but like I was saying, like it's you, it's Canary King, Intergalactic Wrangler. He joins. I remember the day he joins and subscribes. I was talking about the slaughter happening in Nigeria. And I would think that uh people who don't live in those countries shouldn't care about what's going on in those countries. And he joins this live stream on a Sunday afternoon, and then he engages in the chat. We had a very active chat, and then he subscribes. Now, usually, what happens is when people subscribe to a channel when they're talking about one topic, and that topic doesn't continue, they kind of sit in the background and they don't do anything. But he continues coming in, chatting whenever we're talking about ancient ancient civilizations or Area 51. He's not here tonight because I know he's busy. He comes in when we're talking about the news and the craziness in Congress. He's in there. Like, so it's people like him and you and Canary King. And I know that there are lots of them out there who are maybe too shy to even post a comment. But you guys are out there. So I want to do my best to honor these people who have taken their time to just click that subscribe button, leave a comment, keep coming back, even though they see that the content has changed. Sort of, they're not sure what's going on with the channel. The name changed 10 times. What was going on? The profile picture changed. What's going on? There are so many changes happening. Um, there's this guy who is angry today, but we come back and he's crying, and then there's another time he's speaking softly, and then other times he's quoting scripture. Like this guy is all over the place. So I want to say I really respect that. I honor it, and I honestly, like, there are days when I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. But whenever I
Well,
look at
you
you
have
guys.
checked the box of I am not a robot.
True, true. Yeah, I have.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. So guys, if you catch me crying, it is something that is rare. So you came on a rare moment, or you came at a rare moment where that happened. I do not cry. My wife actually thinks there's a problem because she has only caught me crying once or twice in almost 17 years of marriage. So she thinks it's a problem because it shows I'm not as vulnerable with her as I should be. And I'm like, I'm not a crier. But when you do, it's like an eclipse. It happens once in a while. Blink and you miss it, you know. So the day I got the news that my mom had died, she was out of the house. I got the call. I stood in my stairwell crying. The kids were upstairs. They were watching their shows and doing their thing. They didn't see their dad cry. And it's like, you know, that's the way it is with me. It sneaks up on me, it happens, and then it's gone. So I'm as
Was
surprised as
was you
everyone else.
raised was you raised with the ideology that never let anyone see you cry because that's a weakness?
Um it wasn't something that was no, I cried as a kid, but
Oh,
whenever
my dad
you
said I could cry at the drop of a hat.
yeah,
I watched
my
Lassie and cried.
yeah, so my upbringing wasn't one of don't
But
cry
later
because you're
on,
not supposed to.
I have to say later on in life, I mean, I would cry at anything. I still cry today. If I watch a sad story, you can see me tear up. But when I went in the Air Force and the position I was put in, it was never let them see you cry.
Mm,
You don't do that. And why did I be why the position? Because I was the first female at Carswell Air Force Base that got put in charge of 5 guys to
mm,
take them out on a job that only men had ever done and tell them how to do it. And if I got my feelings hurt by them challenging me of being that type of person that could take on that mantle and control that job, it would have blown me out of the water. I would have never got those 5 guys to fill that hole in on the runway in 15 minutes and have a plane roll over it.
mm,
And that's something that all of us go through with our growth and our emotions. And that's like my son in law does not cry. And it drives my daughter nuts. And I told her, I said, your husband is the type of person that holds his emotions in check. And why he does it, why anybody does it, I don't know. There's reasons behind it. I know for me, it was before I went in the Air Force, you could make me cry just by saying boo almost it. And then after I got in the Air Force and I had to toughen up to get my job done, it was like, Patricia, don't you ever let those 5 guys see you tear up. If you do, it's over. You'll never be able to control the situation because they would take it as a sign of weakness and, oh, we can get to her.
yeah.
Did I cry after I went home and shut the door? No. Was I aggravated to the 9th degree? You better believe I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, tears can mean a lot of different things. There's joyful tears, there's tears of sorrow. Those are the worst.
Yeah.
And then there's tears from personal hurt. And they're okay. They're part of the human function. God gave us tears.
Yeah.
I think he gave them to us as a warning to others. Oh, they're crying. Something's wrong. What have
It's
I
likely.
done?
It's likely. Um, so uh so thank
And
you.
your tears are joy. over the channel. That's why I couldn't stop smiling.
Oh yeah. No, you know, um I say this off and on. It's like I don't know why anyone would want to subscribe to a channel of an African guy living in Canada talking about American politics. But you
Oh,
know,
you got my curiosity up because
so
I knew what I was hearing from your accent that you were not Canadian and you were not American. I couldn't even figure out where you were living until you'd said something. I really thought you were in Nigeria. And then I find out, nope, you moved to Canada. And
yeah,
then your interest on American government really caught my attention because our government, most of the people who live in this country don't understand it. They go through their daily lives and they never have a thought cross their brain that their lives are shaped and protected by their own government. But yet they don't know what immigration laws are
yeah,
or the process of how the government operates and why it takes so long for the government to do something and why Congress can't get their stuff together.
yeah,
Yeah, they don't understand how their own government works. That's why we've got riots in Minneapolis because a bunch of foo-foos up there don't even know what our immigration laws say and the enforcement of them and how it's enforced. No clue, but they're out there telling you they're going to attack ICE agents over it. Nope, they will never go to DC and march on the Capitol to make the congressman change the law. But they
hmm,
will attack the people who are in charge of carrying out the law Congress wrote.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah,
that fascinated me that you were curious enough about that. And I think it's because you recognize that America leads. And if America is stumbling and falling down, everybody else is in grave danger.
yeah,
And that's not arrogance, that's the truth.
yeah,
It's the standing force that keeps the bad guys in check. It keeps Russia from firing nuclear weapons. It keeps China from firing them. Even North Korea won't fire them. And they could. They're in striking distance of American property.
yeah,
And they still haven't hit us with a nuclear weapon. Why? Because we scared the heebie jeebies out of them on what we would do if that happened.
yeah,
And we do scare Russia and China. We even scare Europe.
yeah.
They gave up Greenland.
Eventually, after all the noise and the craziness, they eventually went ahead and did that. They were
So,
always going to. They were always going to.
and the funniest part about Greenland was we already had a military base there. And I was going, they sent 24 soldiers over there. And the military base is on the northern part of Greenland. And the civilized part of Greenland is on the southern end of Greenland,
Yeah,
with a whole bunch of frozen glacial ground and mountains in between them. And 24 guys were going to hop over them mountains and teach the American military base something. Yeah, right. So,
Well, that was
but
comic relief for the first couple of weeks in January. So I guess they contributed to some comical content for us. It
well,
was
what Trump was after was the expansion of the military base there
Mhm.
because it's going to have to get bigger and cover more ground to take and put in that Golden Dome. And you're going to see more and more information pop up on that booger
Hmm.
when you start looking at Britain, Sweden, and Finland, because those three will be the next in line. And I can't imagine what the British are going to say.
Well,
Sweden may fall in line close to what the British will be saying, but Finland knows what a threat from Russia is. There's no doubt in Finland and even Norway's minds about what would happen if Russia got out of control.
yeah.
If they no longer feared America, what would happen to Europe? It would cease to exist, I can tell you that
What would happen?
much.
Yeah. And everyone knows it, but they don't want to acknowledge it because they hate Trump so much. I don't know why you would want to. You're essentially suicidal simply because you've been told not to like someone.
I think after you watch one of
It's
those videos I sent you, you're going to go, But yeah, the amazement in my mind is when Trump is going into these smaller foreign countries and talking to them about their rare earth materials. Now, everybody knows that for centuries they've looked at Africa as backwater,
Mhm.
but yet Africa has some of the most valued real estate in the world. And what am I saying about that? How many oil wells have been developed in Africa?
Thousands and thousands.
How many mines? Yeah,
Thousands. And count and growing. It's growing
yeah,
because they're discovering new resources, all packed
yeah.
in that on
The
that one
rare
continent.
earth minerals. They're after the rare earth minerals now because they've advanced past using copper and iron. And now it's on to the next level.
Yeah.
So lining up the rare earth minerals in China has tried to hogtie all the rare earth minerals on Earth
Yeah.
because their plan is to take over the entire world. They are the new world order. And people don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And they don't know who else is behind that new world order. Well, I can tell you that Clinton is one of them. And I'm going to have to go get my cord and plug my phone up.
Oh, I'm going to have to wrap this up. I have a meeting I'm meant to actually be joining in a few seconds. So so we'll just wrap this up. But thank you so much. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
we
I was
love you.
well, I love you guys too. I love you too. And do you know what? Sometimes I'm like, what would it look like by the time we have thousands of people watching these live streams and we can't do the thing we've always done with reading
Oh, we'll
every
do
single
it.
chat.
We'll
we'll,
do
we'll
it.
we'll go
It'll just
we'll
be
go
the chat will be wild.
Yeah, it'll be crazy, So we'll figure it out when that time comes. But
Yeah.
guys, just know that I'm always thinking about you, thinking about the best ways to serve you and just make sure that I'm doing it right. And if I'm making any changes or experimenting on anything, is because I have you guys in mind, because I'm trying to make sure that I'm honoring your time and making sure that I'm doing the best I can to offer you the best um, of myself. So, so thank you all so much. Again, the new channel is right there on the screen, Crossroads 247. That's where the live streams are going to live from now on. We're going to just start doing that. There's just a handful of subscribers from years and years ago on that channel. It's an old channel of mine, so you guys head on over there, subscribe. Over time, we're going to ease off on notifying you about live streams on the main channel and just push it this way. Maybe we'll let you know when the live stream is, but it's always going to happen on this new channel. So we're going to ease into it. Okay, so there's no real rush, but I just wanted you guys to know what's going on and let you guys know that I'm always thinking about you guys and the best way to serve you. So thank you so much. The new video dropped yesterday. There's a link in the description for the 27 times the media essentially lied about Trump. 27. I thought it was just five hoaxes.
Yeah.
It's 27 at least. So when Trump goes off on the media and lashes out, I am not surprised, So more on that later. Maybe we'll talk about it during a different. So, guys, live streams are back on the table, are back on the menu, boys. So we're going to be we're going to be doing what we did last year, but not as aggressively as last year. We're going to figure this out so that I don't burn out, and we're just going to figure out how to do this and make sure that the channel is healthy, that the news content is healthy, that Patricia and I stay healthy, and that you guys have fun. All right. So her phone is about to go off, so she's going to get her charger. All right, so we're going off the air. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm going to wait for Patricia to say good night. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Invite people to join the live streams. Invite them to watch the videos. We're going to configure the channels to get related somehow. I'm going to figure that out to where everything is connected, and we can you can subscribe to all the channels, and we can um, figure this out together. So thank you. So Patricia, we're saying good night. Her video is frozen. Did her phone go off? I think her phone went off. Let's wait a little. So if you're still watching, again, I keep asking, let us know who you are and where you're watching from. I know that. Okay, I have. I think. Okay, so let me bring her on here. All right. So I brought you on just to say good night. You're on the laptop now. Oh, she can't hear me.
No, this way.
So can you hear me now? Oops. Okay, she's back again. All right. Are you on the phone? Oh, geez. Okay. Yep.
I'm
Okay. All right. So we're just saying good night. We just wanted to wait for you to get your text sorted out.
We're on the laptop.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us, hanging out with us this long. For those of you who crossed over from the main channel to the old live stream channel and to the new live stream channel. Thank you. We're figuring things out, and like I said, we're doing our best to try to honor you, honor your time, and for your support and everything. Um, Again, I have to remember to ask you guys to do all these things: to subscribe, share, donate. I don't remember to do this because I'm so obsessed with trying to make sure the content is offering value to you. So that's why. But I'm gonna have to learn how to keep talking about these ways to support us. If you want to join the channel and become a member, the memberships are only active on the main channel. The other two channels are not monetized. So if you want to connect financially, it only happens on the main channel. Just wanted to let you know that there will always be a link in the descriptions of the live streams. So if you want to send a donation, do anything to support the channel, you can scan the QR code right there on the screen. It'll take you to a page where you can send in a donation. If you want to join the membership, there's a link in the live stream description to join the membership and become a monthly subscriber or monthly member. The members get first dibs. They get to watch the videos long before they are released. The video the video that was released on Friday had essentially been published on the membership channel for about a week. So you guys get early access to all these things. You get inside access to some of the things that we're doing, and there's more that I'm planning along with Patricia to make available to the members. So please consider that access. So thank you so much. We're going to have to say good night, and I have to jump over to another meeting right away. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Patricia, I want to say good night.
Good night, y'all. Have a great one.
All right, and